Hello laser disc aficionados. Today's machine is a Pioneer V8000 industrial player. This thing is complex. It is, I believe it is the top-notch industrial player ever put out by Pioneer. And matter of fact, this particular player was in a lot that I acquired from a local seller, and they were branded with Disney stickers. Yeah, so some of them had little IT stickers and actual maintenance cards, like scheduled maintenance cards. One of them had a sticker on the front that said Epcot. Another one had one from what was that? The game you played games. Disney's Quest. That's what it was. Disney's Quest. So yeah, that's pretty special. That means these things were running a lot, and what they were mostly used for were the lines. So when you stood in a line for a ride, there's usually some kind of little show or something going on the monitors, the CRTs above. I believe that's what these were used for. They weren't used to actually play games, because I found discs in them, which I have already sold. But I did find discs for like the MGM Test Track and a couple others now that escape me, but those sold pretty quickly on eBay actually. So anyway, yeah, it's a level 3 programming machine, which means you can hook it up to an RS-232 interface and program it directly using a PC and appropriate software. It's one of my little projects I want to do later on down the road when I have some time. Get my hands on something like Dragon's Lair or something like that and interface with it. I think that would be cool. I've seen one video on YouTube where someone has actually done that with a Sony industrial player, and they were playing Dragon's Lair with it on their PC. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, what we're going to do is show you how to take that cover off, take some of the front pieces off, get the tray out, and replace the gear. Industrial players, in my experience so far, I've not seen an industrial player that actually uses any kind of a belt to open and close the tray. It's completely gear driven, and there's a bar in the front that has gears to turn, and that opens and closes the tray. So let's get started. Alright, so the top of this thing comes off with just 4 screws. That's pretty easy, and you can see here I've already removed some of the screws off of this support bar. I removed some of the screws from this board back here, although honestly the board doesn't need to come off. It's been a while since I've taken an industrial player off, so I'm trying to remember how this stuff comes off the support bar and the upper clamp. I believe the only thing I need to remove really to get to those gears is this front board. So I've got the board detached. If you need to get to the laser to clean the laser in this thing, this rear board does need to come back. You can see the laser right there. The front board, just unscrews. The screws you need to remove or mark with arrows, and just carefully flip it back like this. And now we can get access to the top of the tray. And I've said before in past videos that trays come out differently depending on the model. And with this one, you've got this plastic tab right here that you pull out. You've got to unscrew the metal bar, or this little metal piece it's attached to. And then on the sides here, on the left and right side of the tray, are these little stops, these little metal braces. You've got to unscrew and take those out as well. So once you've got those 3 things removed, then you can just pull out the tray, and then you'll see the bar and the gears underneath it. Yep, confirmed. Broken gears in the front. This is the 3rd or 4th time I've actually seen this in different industrial models. So I have a decision to make now. And my dilemma is that I actually have 3 V8000 machines. The lot had several more than that. Most of the machines were not operable. They were in really bad shape, dinged, busted up. So most of them I got the discs out of, and if it's something I thought I could fix, if it looked fairly simple at face value, then I kept it and tried to fix it. The other ones, unfortunately, just had to scuttle. But anyway, I have 3 of them. 2 of them are in perfectly working order, except this is the second one, so I take that back. Not quite perfectly. This one, the tray doesn't open because of the broken gear, but it does play video because I can manually open and close the tray. Everything else is fine with it. The 3rd one has an issue where it skips video or skips tracks toward the beginning of any disc I put in. After that, after the first few minutes, it plays okay. So what's the problem that I'm facing? Well, obviously these parts aren't made anymore. The gears specifically, I have looked and looked and looked. I could not find anything comparable that would be. I think it's a 13 or 14 tooth gear, and it's pretty specific to fit on this bar. It's got a flat. The inside of it, the inside hole has a flat side, and of course the rest of it. But I was able to find a couple of links to people that will 3D print it, but they wanted a lot of money. A lot of money to 3D print one gear, $50 to $60. I'm like, nope, not going to do that. I did come up with a solution, and I'm going to give a big shout out to Miss Randy Rain. She was able to reproduce a handful of gears for me for a little bit less than that, actually. That worked out just fine. If you've ever checked out her channel on YouTube, and she has a Facebook page, she repairs toys, and she repairs electronic toys. She repairs robots, the Tomy robots, which I actually have now. They bought 2,000, and that's on my schedule too. But she 3D prints things, gears, and parts, and then she'll sometimes mold them out of stronger plastic. And it's really fascinating to watch her do that. And I was going to do it myself. I'm like, you know what? I just don't have the time to mess with that and learn how to do it. Plus, she's got a contraption that she built to take bubbles out of the mold, and I don't have that. So I'm like, you know what? Let's contact her. And she definitely helped me out, and the gear ended up working perfectly. So I was able to salvage that third machine and try to see if I can figure out what's wrong with it. And if I can't, then it's just going to end up being a parts machine, a donor for the other two perfectly working V8000. All right, the gear is back on the end, and the bar is back in place. One thing I didn't get any video of, I just want to mention, is that the bar is actually held in by a couple of little metal braces. You can see one down in the lower part of the screen, just top of the green board that's been pulled aside. And they just simply screw in and screw out, but they do slide in a specific way. So when you take that out, make note of how they're sitting in there so you can put them back in the proper way. Let's test it out. Let's play. Yeah, awesome. All right. See if it closes back again here. Just make sure. Yeah. All right. So why have a V8000? No real reason. You know, it's an industrial player. It is not meant to sit in your home entertainment system. The thing clocks in at about 40 pounds. It's a beast. It's a single-side player. It does play digital tracks, but it does not do AC3 surround sound, 5.1 surround sound. So the reason I like the machine is it just looks like something the Soviet Union would have put together, right? And put in one of the rockets. It's huge, and it's incredibly fast. I think it has only a half second delay when it's going to any track. And one of the reasons it can do that, it's got some pretty beefy memory for the time, but when you pop in a disc, it actually scans the disc. It's indexing the frames or tracks. I'm not sure what the right terminology would be here, but it's indexing. You can hear it reading the disc quickly, and then it knows where these things are. And so if you have to skip through something, it goes really, really fast. So that's another cool reason. Of course, you can program with the computer. It's level 3 through that interface I mentioned earlier, and it's got a barcode scanner. You can connect the barcode scanner. I don't have that, yeah, that's why I have it. It's pretty cool. I've read, and people have told me that it is on the inside comparable to a Pioneer LD S2. I don't know how true that is because I don't have an S2. They will also quickly say the S2's image or picture quality is superior, way superior to the V8000. Again, can't confirm that. I've watched a couple of movies with this machine on a CRT, and it looked fine. It looked fantastic for being on a CRT, a small one like that. So, you know, I certainly don't have any complaints, but I'm not hauling it downstairs and hooking it up to my 60-inch Vizio, that's for sure. It really doesn't have a place downstairs in the home theater, but it's a good project machine for tinkering with, learning how to program them, and having some fun with. So yeah, that's why I have it. But you know, other than that, I can't think of a valid reason for having it. But it's a cool looking machine. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.